And welcome all sim race fans. It's Platinum Cup Friday night here. Friday night lights here for the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series playoffs hosted here on NASCAR Heat 5. And we are live for round 31 of the 2022 season, 7th annual NASCAR Platinum Cup Series season. And this one coming to you from NASCAR Heat 5. And folks, we're in for a treat here tonight. It's the cutoff race for the round of 16. These drivers have a lot on the line and a lot to race for here this evening. And you're watching your race leader and pole sitter here at the Charlotte Roval, and that is your two-time NASCAR World Champion from Gran Sport. Trenton Krentz in the number 20 Toyota Camry for Juicy J Motorsports has led every lap since the drop of the green flag. He's being pursued by Charles Jackson in the number 1 Chevy Camaro for Brett Baker Racing, rather. Now you've got Beam SKP, the driver out of France, coming from Steel Horse Motorsports, running in third. Aaron Garcia in the 24 car scored in fourth, and just a moment ago he was up in the second place position, and now he's being hounded for that position by the two-time and defending NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, Matt Smith in the 47 machine. I am NASCAR CEO and founder Tyler McMurder. I am in-race reporter list here this evening. Strap yourselves in, grab a cold can of soda, kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. It's arguably the most difficult road course on the schedule. We're here for the Charlotte Roval 400. And after this one, we will know exactly who our round of 12 playoff drivers are. Right now, Trenton Krentz looking pretty good. Came well above the cut line into this race, so really not too worried in terms of points. And in my opinion, when you come into a cutoff race and you know you're not under pressure in terms of the point standings, you can gamble more, you can take more risks, you can run it harder, and you can go for the wins. Some of these drivers have no choice but to go for the win here today. Sean Lucas in the 21, 3 points below the cutoff line coming into this one. He's looking for stage points and a good finish. Emily Sari was looking for a strong run here tonight to advance her way to the round of 12, but she is pulled off the racetrack with serious front-end damage. It appears to be done for the day, along with Alejandro, one of the two drivers out of Spain in today's event. There is Timmy Brown in the number 19 Juicy J Motorsports Toyota. He's outside the top 10 right now, but the good news for him, not a mark on that car so far. He's off to a pretty clean and conservative start, looking to get some stage points and try to advance his way to the round of 12. Comes into this one below the cutoff line by about 11 points. Good battle for position here between two drivers just barely inside the top 10. It's a battle for 9th, and it's Aiden Cody in the 95, Josh Colombiez in the 9 car. Both of them have wins this year in the NASCAR Legend Series on Monday nights, also in the Cup cars. Just simply no playoff system, no stages, and shorter race distance for that series over on Mondays. Both of them yet to find victory lane here on Fridays for the Platinum Cup Series, but high hopes here for tonight, especially for Las Vegas here later this evening. The first race of the round of 12 will come your way later tonight here on the NASCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. There's Trey Hollywood in the 48 car, one of our playoff drivers as well. He's right now scored in the 10th place position, trying to reel in his teammate. Up on two wheels, the driver out of France, this year's Daytona 500 winner, Beam SKP, is up there running in 4th and appears to be pretty darn strong in the early going, and it's great to see Angelo back in one of our races as well. Non-playoff driver, part-time campaigner, running in P6 if I'm not mistaken. Here is Matt Smith in the 47, just cracked himself back into the top 5. And that kind of gives you a bit of a rundown on where some of your playoff drivers are running, and they're all chasing Trenton Krentz in the 20. He's got 3 wins this season here in the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series. And he's looking to add more, and all of these playoff points for stage wins and race wins, they carry through with you from round to round, and they really play a key role into helping these drivers advance their way through the rounds. It's very rare, for example, you see a 15th or 16th seeded driver entering the playoffs make it all the way, but it's been done before. And the battle for the lead looks like this. Charles Jackson in the 1 is actually getting quite a bit closer, and we'll keep our eye on that one. The battle for third is right here. The two-time NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series champion in the 47 car for Lone Wolf Motorsports went door to door there with this year's Daytona 500 winner, Beam SKP. And remember, Beam is quite the road course racer. Really won Road America earlier this year, and now Matt Smith is going to surrender his top 5 spot and come to pit road. This is a strategy call, I believe. While pit road is open before the end of stage 1, he's going to give up stage points, come to pit road, change tires, and perhaps consider staying out for the beginning of stage 2 and try to get that track position. This is going to bump Angelo in the 43 up into the 4th place position, and there you see him. Now, Angelo's not here for playoffs. He's not here for the championship. He's here to win, and he's definitely he's got a chance, that's for sure. Amongst all of the non-playoff drivers that could potentially get on up there and spoil the party for these 16 playoff drivers, I do believe Angelo could be the heavy favorite of those ones that definitely a dark horse in this race. 20 drivers out there. It's a 54-lap event. We're working stage 1, top 10 get those stage points, and we're getting closer and closer to the end of the stage. And at this point, these drivers are beginning to get a little bit loose coming out of some of these corners. The car is a bit edgier now than it was before. These tires are a bit more worn than they were at the start of the race. A lot hotter as well, so you're seeing a lot more sliding around. Aiden Cody in the 95 went for a bit of a slide there through the bus stop. He was able to gather it up, but he lost a little bit of time. Josh Colombias in the 9, they're both fighting ill-handling race cars and both running inside the top 10. Harold Burden's got to win this year in the NASCAR Legends Series and looking to find victory lane here in the Platinum Cup Series. He's come close a couple of different times this season. And if he can find victory lane, he would become the 16th different Triple Crown winner in NASCAR history, holding wins in Platinum Cup, Motormaster, and Trucks. And it's great to see Alex Tesdall, normally my in-race reporter, here in tonight's race. He's having some issues, connection issues at home, so he was wondering if he was going to be able to make tonight's festivities, and here he is, and it's a good thing, because if he were to DNF, I don't think that he would advance to the next round. He might at this point, now that he's got points and he made the race, and if he were to start in park, it might be a little better for him, but it's great to see him make the show, and he's not in my chat. He's not in any parties at all to further help his connection. Just a moment ago, Angelo in the 43 was able to capitalize on a mistake by Beam SKP in the 14 Ford Mustang, Steel Horse Motorsports, and he's still right there with them. That's the battle for third and fourth. The battle for the lead looks like this, and we got a car stopped over in turn 4, and that was Machiavelli Ross, number 77 Chevy Camaro for Air Force Motorsports, and he's turned some heads here as of late. Started the season late. He's got a couple of top 10 finishes this season in the Legend Series and one top 10 finish in Platinum Cup, but problems here for him in stage 1. And very similar lines for the drivers running 1-2, and you can see that they have pretty darn good control of their cars when you compare them to the others around them running in the top 5. They've built up quite the gap over Angelo, who runs in 3rd. Beam has dropped to 4th, and problems there for Charles Jackson in the 1. He shoots it pretty hard into the outside wall. He hit the turtle wrong coming out of the final turn, and I do believe we saw the green and white checkered flag a moment ago, and we did. Trenton Krentz is going to win stage 1. Charles Jackson is going to finish in 2nd. The 10 car is going to be the first car 1 lap down, and he's going to get back onto the lead lap. That's the XD champ, and it's his debut here tonight for the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series. And now Angelo claims 3rd in stage 1. Beam SKP is going to finish in the 4th place position here. And if I'm not mistaken, Sean Lucas in the 21 Ford Mustang unless he went a lap down, he might have actually claimed 5th here in stage 1. We'll get the full results for you on NOSSCAR.com later tonight. Aiden Cody, Trey Hollywood, 2 playoff drivers scoring some stage points in stage 1. These stage points are critical, folks. Lined up double file. Stage 2 coming your way, 54 lap race, 20 cars, the cutoff race for the round of 16. The green flag has been shown. And arguably the toughest road course on the NASCAR Heat 5 game. Drivers doing a great job so far. We do have a couple of cars out of the race, off the track and done for the day already with some serious front end damage, but the survivalists are still on your screen. And a bit of a rough restart for Charles Jackson. 4 wins for him this season here in the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series, and he found himself getting shuffled and losing a couple of positions on the restart, and I was trying to keep one here from Beam in the 14, and he's going to do just that, or he did, and he got it really loose over there right in front of a couple of cars, and he tried to get it righted and turned around, and Harold Burden, another playoff driver, nowhere to go. Serious front end damage to both of these drivers, but I think that Harold got the worst end of the deal. In that Air Force Motorsports number 16 Chevy, the only Air Force car to make the playoffs this season, and he's got his work cut out for him now. And even if he is able to recover here and get some positions back, potentially some stage points, he's going to need to spend some time at the end of the stage to repair that damage, and he's going to probably start the final stage near the tail of the field. And Josh Colm Diaz in the 9 car appears to be off the racetrack and motionless. One of our playoff drivers well above the playoff cut line, done for the day, and thankfully he had a great race there at Chicagoland and Richmond. He didn't really need to worry too much about the Charlotte Roval coming in here tonight. And a great battle here. Trey Hollywood, Aiden Cody, and Angelo in the 43 right there with them. This is all inside the top 10. In fact, it's inside the top 5. These drivers had a great start to stage 2, and they were able to capitalize on a rough start by Charles Jackson and a few others, pass a few cars, and now they've been able to kind of drive away from the rest of the group and set themselves up in the top 5. SKP not too far behind them. Alex Tesdall in the 17, Sean Lucas in the 21. They're all running in the top 10, having a strong start here to stage 2. Some contact there between the 95 and the 48, bouncing off each other a little bit here, battling for these positions. There's a few key passing zones on this racetrack. Oh, man. And that was not one of them. And they really went for it there. Angelo actually picked up a position out of that deal. I don't think it was in that corner, and if it was, I think I missed it. Trenton Krentz still leads. Matt Smith runs in second in the pink and white number 47 Chevy Camaro. Aaron Garcia, the number 24 car, runs in third. Aaron, the regular season champion this year, 7 wins for him, and winning the regular season championship gave him 15 additional playoff points, and those carry through with you round to round. So really, with his playoff point total, him and Matt Smith in the 47, as long as they both have decent races all throughout the playoffs, they should safely make it to the Final Four. And a heartbreaking stage there for Charles Jackson in the 1. Serious front-end damage to him and to the 16 of Harold Burden. And now, ironically enough, they find themselves on the track together. And gotta wonder how that's going. So we're going to keep our camera here for just a moment. I think it's actually just a good straight-up battle for position. Contact was made there. Harold was taking a look, and there just simply wasn't enough room. Sean Lucas in the 21, running in the top 10, needs these stage points. Came into the Charlotte Roval event 3 points below the playoff cut line, behind the 48 of Trey Hollywood. The problem for him is Trey got stage points in stage 1, and he's ahead of him here in stage 2. So really all Sean can do, and Alex in the 17 is in a similar position, all they can really do is get as many of these stage points as they can, maybe hope for tragedy to happen to the 48 in the final stage and capitalize. It's really all you can do at this point. No sense getting flustered and frustrated and down on yourself. Stay focused, get what you can, and see where you line up at the end. Once again, folks, you never know what can happen here. Macabelli Ross, Emily Seri, Alejandro, and Josh Colm Diaz all out of the race, just to name a few. 20 drivers started the event, and we are down to 14 cars left on the racetrack here for the Charlotte Roval 400. And at the end of this one, we will know exactly who our round of 12 playoff drivers are. And a great battle for position here, and whoa! I don't know if there was, I don't think there was contact between the 48 and the 14. It looked like Beam went in there hot and heavy trying to keep Trey Hollywood behind him and found the wall. In the process, some of these cars are pretty dinged up. They're going to need to make some repairs at the end of stage 2, I think. And there is Beam. Long-time sim racer. He got 2 wins in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series this year. Made it all the way to the Final 4 and had a great season. Won the Daytona 500 this season for the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series. He has not found victory lane since, but he has been so close, so many times. Came very close to winning the race at Road America earlier this year. He's led a lot of laps and been noticed for the right things this year. He's going to safely advance to the round of 12. He will clinch it at the end of stage 2, especially with the stage points he currently has, and he's going to soldier on to the round of 12. Very talented sim racer. And the battle for the lead is on. It's a 3-car battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th, and it's a 3-car battle for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Trenton Krentz, the yellow and black, number 20 Toyota Ford Juicy J Motorsports, holding on to the lead, and now Aaron Garcia, the regular season champion in that 24 car, just took over 2nd from Matt Smith. Matt was trying to set up a pass on the race leader, and in the process lost 2nd to Aaron Garcia, and both of them lost ground to the race leader. Actually, folks, I should mention, I should correct myself, Angelo is the one running in 4th. Aiden Cody in the 95 is scored in 5th, and it's Trey Hollywood battling with him for that 5th place position, along with Beam SKP in that 14 Ford Mustang. And checking in on Charles Jackson, the number 1 Chevy Camaro. He's still rocking and rolling. He's got a lot of front end damage, but he's still on the lead lap. That's the most important thing. He's going to need to fix the damage firstly at the end of the stage, but at least he's going to be on the lead lap at the beginning of the final stage and have another crack at it with these guys. And never mind, folks, and it appears Charles is actually going to fall off the lead lap right as I'm mentioning this. The leaders just came into the camera frame. I thought they were a few corners behind, and I know we're on the final few laps, so I thought he was safe to stay on the lead lap, but evidently he has dropped off the lead lap, and he's the first car a lap down. 4 wins this season for Charles in that number 1 Chevy Camaro, and this Charlotte Roval race has just simply not went his way. Thankfully for him, he had a great Chicagoland and a great Richmond, and does not need to worry about the Charlotte Roval event here tonight. Now the problem here is the 1 car is kind of getting in between the race leaders and disrupting the battle for the stage win. You would think he would let, oh, and a problem for Trenton Krentz, and I think, I'm really not sure what happened there. Somebody got some sort of penalty over there. Trenton Krentz's car came to a dead stop. They all bulldozed into each other. I've never seen anything like it. They all have front and back damage, and they are all going to need to take time to repair it at the end of this stage, and now it is on for the stage win. And it's not even going to matter too much, because at the beginning of the final stage, the running order is going to be so shook up because of all the repairs that are going to need to be made. I'll tell you what does matter, though, the stage win. This playoff point, it carries through with all of these drivers. Trenton Krentz has led every lap since the drop of the green flag at the beginning of the race until now. And Matt Smith trying to drive away, getting a gift here, and picking up the race lead for the first time. It's Angelo in the, it's Aiden Cody in the 95, scored in 4th now. He has been able to work his way around Angelo. Not only that, but he's actually closing in a little bit on the front 3. Well, I guess so. I guess because of the stack up they just had, the whole field might have just gained about 5, 6, 7 seconds on him. And there's Angelo, some front-end damage to his machine that I don't believe was there before. And I think that might be playing into why he's no longer right there with the 95 battling for that position. He was at one point running in the 4th place position. And what a wild one it's been. And wait a minute here. And we've lost somebody that was just battling for the race lead. Trenton Krentz in the 20. We turned our cameras to the drivers running inside the top 5 for what, 10, 15 seconds there. We come back and the 2-time NASCAR world champion Trenton Krentz, world champ from Gran Turismo Sport, was around over there and lost a ton of ground at the top 2. And now this leaves the 24 and the 47 to battle it out for the stage win. And this is where the problem happened before. And what I think happened was the 20 tried to cut through the grass just a slight bit over there, and he got the penalty for it. It brought his car to a dead stop, and everybody else piled in. Changed the complexion of the battle for the lead completely as Matt Smith continues to drive away with it, with Aaron Garcia running in 2nd. And problems over in turn 1 there, and that was the 95 of Aiden Cody, one of our playoff drivers. He's currently running in 4th. He's got a significant amount less amount of damage, I should say, than the top 3, and really might be able to be your race leader at the end of stage 2 for the beginning of the final stage. He might have to make less repairs on pit road. So we'll keep our eye on that. We know the running order is going to shuffle a lot here for the beginning of the final stage. And there was an issue there for Harold Burden in the 16 car. One of our playoff drivers got a little bit out of shape there, found the wall. Now he goes off track a little bit. He's fighting an ill-handling race car, mostly due to the front-end damage that he suffered earlier in this stage when Charles Jackson in the 1 car spun and was trying to get it righted and get it going again. And Harold was coming around the corner, a blind corner, and had no idea that he was sitting right there, and pow, that's all she wrote. The good news for Harold is he's still on the lead lap. Somehow, someway, Charles Jackson in the 1 car fell off the lead lap, and now the rest of his race is going to be quite difficult from here, whereas Harold might be able to save himself from this. And the green and white checkered flags have been displayed. Stage 2 is in the history books for the Charlotte Roval 400, and congratulations to Matt Smith in the 47 car for Lone Wolf Motorsports. Showing us why is the 2-time and defending Platinum Cup Series champion, winning the stage, picking up a valuable playoff point, holding off some of the very fastest NOSSCAR road course ringers in the field to do it. Aaron Garcia is going to claim 2nd in the number 24 Chevy Camaro. And if I'm not mistaken, as we go through the field just a little bit more, Aiden Cody in the 95, I believe, was able to cash in huge there and pick up stage points, finishing in third. And as you can see, folks, the front row is two completely different drivers that have not been up there challenging for the lead at all so far here today, and that is all about to change. And at the perfect time, the green flag is out here. Final stage, round 31. And Beam SKP, the driver out of France, this year's Daytona 500 winner, breaks out with the lead. Rush Downing in the 34 goes for a spin. Collects himself into the inside wall and is going to get it back righted and pointing in the right direction. And he keeps going, and everybody mostly single file now through the figure S's and back out onto the oval portion of the circuit. And with the exception of the spin by the 34, everybody makes it through the first half of the lap clean. And they're side by side for the race lead. Beam doesn't want to give it up, but he might not have a choice. Aiden Cody in the 95 looking for that very first NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series win. Beam looking for his second. And the thing is, folks, they're both in a position to advance to the round of 12 based on points, and they're locked into that, so why not go for it? And now to the inside goes Aiden in the 95, and Beam answers right back in turn 2. Going into 3 now, Beam's going to have the advantage, and the 95 of Aiden Cody needs to play defense on the two-time champion, Matt Smith. This is getting good. And the restarts are always the wildest part of the event, that's for sure. It's when everyone's bunched up, and that's when you can definitely pick off a few cars and pick up a few positions. It's also when you can really hurt your race as well, though. And now, big problem. Speaking of hurting your race, the pole sitter, Trenton Krentz, went for a spin, and Trey Hollywood in the 48 car had nowhere to go, ran into him, and they both went for a synchronized slide, a synchronized spin together into the inside wall. They're back rolling again, but they have both dropped outside the top 10. And Beam continues to stretch his legs and increase his lead over the rest of the field, while Aiden Cody and Matt Smith continue to battle for second and third. Battles all over the racetrack. Trey Hollywood trying to recover from the incident there, along with Trenton Krentz. Oh, They both have strong race cars. They both have a lot of talent here on the road courses, and now they're trying to negotiate their way around Alex Tesdall in the 17 car. Alex has done his part here tonight. He's going to advance to the round of 12 as long as he can get a top 12 finish here in the final stage. Got a couple of stage points, nothing major. It's really all he needed to do to advance his way to the round of 12 in this one. The round of 12 is going to be a much bigger test. And the best battle on the racetrack right now is the one for third, fourth, and fifth. Matt Smith has been able to get his way around these drivers. Charles Jackson in the 1 car is just in front of them, but I think that he is 1 lap down. We're going to check on that in just a moment. And Angelo's going to take over the position from Aiden Cody. Actually, yeah, we're getting word. Charles Jackson was the first car 1 lap down at the end of stage 2. He's on the lead lap and soldiered all the way up into third place position. Now Beam leads, Matt Smith second, Charles Jackson third, Aaron Garcia fourth, and Angelo in the 43 and fifth. Just to give you an idea on where some of your favorite drivers are running, that is your top 5. We're working the final stage here, round 31 of the 2022 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series season, hosted right here on NASCAR Heat 5. 20 drivers started the race. We're down to 14 cars left on the racetrack. It's a very challenging, very difficult road course. And a lot of these drivers were really practicing and working hard earlier today before the broadcast began, before the race and before the night began, to prepare themselves for the challenge that lied ahead. And the top four are kind of all separated by the exact same interval, the exact same distance between themselves. And one little mistake by any of them changes the complete look of this battle for these positions. The driver running in fifth, that's Angelo, got a little bit of ground to make up before he joins this battle for the race lead. And checking in on Trenton Prince, giving you an update here on where he is running. He is currently scored in 7th. It's where he has rebounded to after the spin earlier involving himself and Trey Hollywood. Trey Hollywood scored in the 8th position. Alex Tesdall in the 17 runs in 9th. I'm in race reporter list here tonight, so I'm doing everything I can to piece all of this together for you, and so far I feel like I've done an up to par job. And we have a new race leader, Matt Smith. Got it done over in the final turn, just before turn 1, before we turned our cameras back, and the top 3 cars are all glued bumper to bumper with Aaron Garcia on the 24 trying desperately to join them. And now and I think that Charles Jackson got loose trying to take that corner and maybe even try to get to the inside of Beam before they started taking the corner, and instead he found the wall, and he found it pretty big. That was a significant hit that might change the way the car is handling. You can see the damage to the left front of that number 1 Chevy Camaro. You can see the distance that he lost to Beam in the 14 as well. They're running out of time at this point. If they're going to run down the race leader, they need to start doing it now, or they need to think of some sort of pit strategy to overcome the speed that Matt Smith in the 47 seems to have and found here for the final stage. And Aiden Cody in the 95 has been able to work his way around Angelo for 5th, but Angelo just drove it hard into the final corner and blatantly wrecked the 95 of Aiden Cody, and I don't know why or what that was about, but it's definitely a penalty. Aiden's a playoff driver, and Angelo in the 43 car is not. That happened over in the final turn, that last chicane, the bus stop there, and I don't know what that was all about, but he absolutely floored it into the corner, and that will be a penalty, and that will likely be the end of the Platinum Cup part-time campaign for Angelo here in 2022. That was shocking and disappointing. Oh, and problems for your race leader, Matt Smith. And this was over in the final turn as well. It's been a problem area for a couple of drivers in this race, and he missed the corner, went through the grass over the turtles, but I think that when he did, all 4 tires were in the grass part, and it gave him a penalty. It brought his car to a dead stop for 5 seconds, and it allowed the top 3 cars that are running there now to catch him and pass him for those positions. And the new race leader is Charles Jackson in the 1. And that is how quickly things can change here in an NOSSCAR race. especially here in the Platinum Cup Series, especially here at the Charlotte Roval. It's a very challenging, very difficult road course, and one wrong move, one mistake, and how many positions you can lose. That's how much ground that can get taken away from you. And you can see what the gap looks like back to the 24 and the 14. They're not out of this thing. Neither is Matt Smith in the 47, the pink and white Chevy that's popping into your frame every now and then. And Aaron did not get the penalty this time, but he went up over the turtle in the worst way possible without getting one and made contact with the outside wall. Some pretty heavy damage to the right front of that number 24 Camaro. The top 4 drivers right now in the race combined for 22 wins here this season. They are a who's who for the 2022 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series, and showing us why they're battling it out here for the Charlotte Roval 400 win. They're all safe to advance to the round of 12 based on the points that they have, and it's all about bragging rights at this point, but it's certainly all about the playoff points that you get for the race win. Those carry through with you round to round are very important. They will help you advance. And now Aaron Garcia successfully takes second from Beam, or does he? Beam comes right back with a power move, coming out of that last bus stop there, that last chicane. These chicanes have been deadly for these drivers, and now Matt Smith in the 47 is going to short pit, come to pit road, take on 4 tires. And there's your leader, Charles Jackson. And man, if you told me Charles was going to be leading in the final stage after the couple of problems he was involved in stage 2, I don't think I would have believed you. But here he is. After getting the free pass at the end of stage 2, he finds himself up here leading the race. Had a great restart here for the final stage. Was able to drive up to 3rd and dodge a couple of cars that restarted in the top 5 that had troubles. It looks pretty clean, looks pretty smooth. The car doesn't look to be as edgy as some of the others, and he's putting some distance on the drivers running 2nd and 3rd. And there's Matt Smith, fresh off of pit road. First one amongst the leaders to make his scheduled pit stop here in the final stage. I do believe they can make it on a one-stop strategy from here. There's Angelo in the 43. See if we can figure out where the 95 is. He was the one that was taken out by the 43 just a little bit ago. And if my information is correct, he's scored in the 7th place position, but you can see the car is close to total. I'm surprised it's running, so he's going to need to repair the damage on pit road, or he's going to need to deal with some ill-handling effects until the checkered flag waves here tonight, and definitely not of his fault, that's for sure. He had a shot to win here tonight. Oh. And Alex Tesdall on the 17 is yet to come to pit road. Matt Smith has already been to pit road for service, and they are battling for position as if it's the last lap. Matt Smith cleaning through with the 4 fresher tires. And we can tell you that the 24 and the 14, they both stayed out on the racetrack another lap, as did Charles Jackson. And we'll watch Charles. He's the leader, and he's coming up to the pit road entrance here this time by. Let's see if he makes a move, and he doesn't. He's going to keep on going. And some of these drivers, they might choose to do that. They might run the tank dry and then take on 4 tires, because really it doesn't take too long here at the Charlotte Roval for your tires to get worn out and for your lap times to take a hit. So you might as well save that maybe and have fresher tires for the end. Kind of depends. I'm sure all of these drivers are watching their lap times, trying to make the right decision on when they should come to pit road for those tires. You can see the speed difference. 4 fresh tires gives you. Matt Smith in the 47 has already completed a pass on Alex Tesdall and Harold Burden. Mind you, he's had a bit better speed than those two cars here this evening, but don't think earlier he would have been able to clear him and drive away the way he just did. 4 tires means a lot here. I'm a little surprised it hasn't forced a few others that are up there in the top 5 or 6 to come for service, but again, like I just mentioned, it might be a smart call to wait as long as possible and have a big tire advantage for the very end. Sorry, I was trying to evaluate a couple of things here. Timmy Brown in the 19 is not too far in front of your race leaders. In fact, he has dropped 1 lap down. Your Brickyard 200 winner from 2018. And there you see him coming to pit road for service. It was great to see Timmy make the round of 16 here for the 2022 Platinum Cup season. He's made the playoffs before for Cup and for Motormaster and Trucks. He's advanced through rounds before as well, but he was a little bit behind the 8 ball coming into the round of 16 here for the Platinum Cup Series. He was the 16th seed, and he had a high mountain to climb, and he did a pretty good job, but it doesn't look like he's going to advance to the round of 12. A great effort this season for Timmy Brown. And problems for Sean Lucas. This is over on the front straightaway by the start-finish line. He's one of our playoff drivers, and he was up there, scored in 8th place whenever whatever happened. He's got some minor damage to the front end of the Brett Baker Racing machine. He got it going pretty quick again. He only lost a couple of positions, but the bad news for him is he's got damage now that he's going to need to consider repairing at the end, or excuse me, on his scheduled pit stop. Oh, and see him getting loose there. And once you get a little bit of damage, the car, it does not handle the same way at all. And now Sean might consider bringing it to pit road this time by if it's too bad. The leaders are in. For some of them, Bean in the 14 is on pit road. Trenton Krentz, your pole sitter, is on pit road. Nobody's led more laps today than Trenton Krentz, but he's going to have to really start doing some wild driving if he's going to get up there and catch your race leaders. Remember, he spun and collected a couple of cars here in the final stage, and it was a very unexpected error out of the 2-time world champion. Charles Jackson in the 1 car was on pit road as well. You can see that he's already down and away and leaving pit road, while the 20 and the 14 and the 43 are all still there getting service. Now there goes Trenton. 4 tire stops all the way around for all of these drivers, if I'm not mistaken. And now here comes Aaron Garcia in the 24. He is your current race leader. He stayed out an extra lap here. Let's see if he comes this time. And he does. Regular season champion, 7 wins this season. He opened the playoffs with a big win at Chicagoland, winning the Dusty Peaks 400 sponsored event. And having a strong run here tonight at the wild and chaotic Charlotte Roval. Does not need to worry about points. Has locked himself into the round of 12 with his win at Chicagoland. Coming in here and battling for the win with the best of them. And after some of the cycles of pit stops, you can see that Charles Jackson is right in front of Matt Smith in the 47, and he's going to have much fresher tires. So in theory, you should be able to drive away, or at the very least keep the 2-time champ behind him. And the 24 of Aaron Garcia comes out right in front of both of them. How about that? And he's got a 1-lap fresher tire advantage over the one of Charles Jackson. This is going to be a wild and spirited battle for the win between 3 drivers that are no stranger to victory lane here in the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series. 7 wins for Aaron Garcia in the 24, 4 wins for Charles Jackson in the 1, 10 wins for Matt Smith in the 47. Pardon me. To the inside goes Charles Jackson in the one. And had a great run through the oval portion of the racetrack. And now Aaron Garcia trying to cross him back over. And he does. Minor contact, door to door. Some rubbing is racing. And Aaron Garcia takes the lead back. And can he hold it? And while these two are battling, it's allowing Matt Smith, who's got the much older tires between all three of these drivers, it's allowing him to keep right there with them. And if they take each other out, Matt's going to win this thing. What a battle we are watching for the lead and for the win. Here at the Charlotte Roval, all three of these drivers clinch their way into the round of 12. They don't need to worry about that. They're worrying about making more history. They want to park it in victory lane here tonight. 3 more playoff points on the line. And as of now, it's Aaron Garcia holding on to it in the 24. Again, he's got the advantage for tire wear, and he's got the grip. Oh! And he found the wall coming out of the final corner. He got a bit of a push from Charles Jackson going into the corner. And I think that's what caused the 24 to overdrive. And now Matt Smith is taking a look to the inside. Oh, and Aaron used every inch of real estate he could out there, even the grass, and he's staying right there with the 1 in the 47 despite the damage. In fact, all 3 cars, I think, are battling some damage now. Oh, the 24, bit of a wiggle there coming out of that corner. Not too bad. He's still with them, still in there, draft. We're going to catch a couple of cars to put them a lap down before the end of this race, and that might shake things up. And coming into the final turn here, this is where the pass for the lead happened the previous lap. Matt Smith is close enough, he's going to go for it. He had a great run, just not enough space and not a lane left open by the 1 of Charles Jackson. And they're coming up on Rush Downing in the 34 to put him a lap down. And this could get interesting. It very well might come down to who gets through the traffic the quickest and the cleanest. Charles now approaches the back bumper of the 34, finds a way by the 47. Not so lucky, runs right into the back of Rush Downing. Aaron Garcia did the same, I believe, and now this is going to allow Charles Jackson in the 1 to get quite the distance over these 2 drivers in the 47-24. They're going to battle it out for 2nd and 3rd. Back to single file through the chicane. And they're running out of time. That cost them huge. Don't look now, folks, but Trenton Krentz in the 20 car has driven his way all the way back up to 4th, and he's gaining ground rapidly on the top 3. I just don't think he's got enough time to get there before the end of this race. I know that the laps are winding down. I don't have it in race reporter tonight, so I don't know exactly how many are left, but I do know that we're under 12 laps remaining here for the Charlotte Roval 400, and around goes Matt Smith in the 47, right in front of Aaron Garcia in the 24. Pushing his car to the limits, trying everything he can to gain ground that was lost. Back on the race leader, Charles Jackson in the 1, got a little loose right in front of the 24 and tried to save it. Nosed it into the wall gently, and the 24 of Aaron Garcia was able to work his way around him. Sean Lucas in the 21 car was spun over in the grass area back there. He's one of our playoff drivers. He came into tonight 3 points below the cutoff line, and I don't know if he's going to advance right now. I think he's having a tough time getting the car fired again. Nevertheless, laps are winding down. 12 drivers are going to advance to the next round here in the playoffs. The question is who? Charles Jackson. We know he will. Will he have 5 wins when he gets there? Time will tell. It kind of looks like Aaron Garcia has cut into the lead just a little bit, but I don't know if it's quick enough. I don't know if he's gaining enough, quick enough to get there before the end of this race. It might take a major mistake from Charles Jackson for it to happen, but one thing I've noticed about Charles, on these long runs especially, that car just seems to be hooked. Doesn't seem to be edgy, doesn't seem to be twitchy. Seems like he can hold on to it perfectly. Got a great long run setup here today. And they're going to put a lap successfully there on Timmy Brown in the 19 car. We've seen lapped cars really shake things up here, and Timmy's going to do the respectful thing. He pulled to the inside there a moment ago and let the 1 car go by. He's going to do the same for the 24 of Aaron Garcia as they continue to soldier on and battle it out here for the win at the Charlotte Roval. And it's been a chaotic and exciting race really since the drop of the green flag. We expected that. There was a lot on the line for all of these drivers here tonight. Even if you entered this race above the playoff cut line, these drivers were hungry and determined to go on out there and get those playoff points. Try to make the round of 12 a little bit easier for them. A lot of these drivers pointing their fingers at Talladega to be the wild card race of the round of 12, and a lot of drivers pointed at this racetrack to be the wild card race of the round of 16, and I really don't think that they were lying. I think that they were spot on with it, folks. And the virtual crowd is on their feet and they're beginning to cheer louder and louder, and usually that's an indicator that the laps are winding down. Charles Jackson is your leader. Aaron Garcia runs in second. Matt Smith in the 47 car runs in third. And believe it or not, miraculously enough, your pole sitter, Trenton Krentz, has recovered all the way back up into fourth, and he's actually closing in quickly here on Matt Smith. And a spin over at the front straightaway area there. That was Rush Downing in the 34 car. He's going to gather it up and continue on. The XD champion in the 10 car made his debut here tonight in the NOSSCAR Platinum Cup Series. And he was spun over in turn 4. Got it back going again pretty quickly. And the gap staying about the same between the 1 and the 24. What an up and down day for Charles Jackson. Up and down through the leaderboard multiple times in this race. He had to scratch and claw his way back to the lead multiple times from outside the top 10. A few of these drivers did. It amazes me actually how many of these drivers that are currently running in the top 4, top 5 right now that had to battle their way back into this one to give themselves this chance. For third, Trenton Krentz goes to the inside of Matt Smith. He completes the pass. He takes it. What a heartbreaking day for Trenton Krentz, the two-time world champion from Gran Turismo Sport. Won the pole, led the most laps, led every lap in Stage 1, led every lap until the final few in Stage 2. Arguably the favorite to win based on his raw speed here at the Charlotte Roval. And as you can see, he spun here in the final stage and fell all the way back to 9th place, and he's been able to drive his way all the way back up to 3rd. Those ones always hurt. Been a great race for Beam. He's running in, he's running in 5th right now. Steel Horse Motorsports number 14 Ford Mustang led laps. He shot out to the lead here at the beginning of the final stage and got a pretty good gap over the rest of the field. But once they calmed down and got single file, a couple of drivers were able to run him down and begin to battle with him for the lead. And eventually Beam just kind of slid back down the running order to the 3rd or 4th place position, and now he's currently scored in 5th, and it's looking like he will finish there unless something major happens in between now and the checkered flag. It's been a strong day for the driver out of France. This year's Daytona 500 winner. And Angelo in the 43 car pulls his number 43 Chevy Camaro, I guess I mentioned that already, to pit road. And it looked like Aiden Cody in the 95 was doing the same. And these drivers might need to make a second pit stop before they reach the conclusion of this one. Not sure if there was strategy involved there or if the damage was just so bad and devastating that they needed to repair it to get themselves the rest of the way. We'll piece it together here in a moment if we can. And Sean Lucas is finally rolling again, and I'm really not too sure what the problem is. I don't know if it's frustration or if it's problems with his wheel and pedal setup. He's been kind of motionless out on the racetrack, but out of the groove over in the grass area for about 5 or 6 laps trying to get the car to roll again. And I don't know if it's a wheel and pedal problem or if it's some sort of frustration going on under the helmet of the driver of the 21. Charles Jackson leads and is looking to hold on for his 5th NASCAR Platinum Cup Series win of 2022. And like many of the NASCAR drivers, he started with us back on NASCAR 15 Victory Edition on the PlayStation 3 console. Won races, and from there stuck with us, and he's back here full-time for the 2022 Platinum Cup season and making a charge for the championship. It's the biggest stock car console series that NASCAR hosts and offers. And he's in line to win it this year. If he wins this race, he's going to have the 3rd highest win total of any driver here in 2022. Really puts himself on the map and kind of establishes himself as one of the big 4 going in through the rest of the rounds here in the playoffs. He's definitely one of the 4 favorites to advance to the Final 4. Many drivers in the garage area have been talking about the speed of the 24 and the 47 and the 6 and the 20. And now some of the conversations have shifted towards talking about the speed of this number 1 Chevy Camaro for Air Force Motorsports. He's coming up on his teammate in the 16, and he ran into the back of the 34 of Rush Downing as well, and now we got a battle for the lead on our hands. Aaron Garcia in the 24 trying to capitalize, and he does. He's going to take the lead. There was 2 lapped cars over at the final corner area. They ran into each other a little bit and created a wall, created a bit of a mess that they had to deal with. And both of the leaders getting out of shape over in turn 4. Aaron Garcia went way off to the grass on the left, and Charles Jackson went into the grass on the right, and they are driving it for all it's worth for the Charlotte Roval 400 victory. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here. We don't have many laps to go. Aaron Garcia is your leader now in the 24 car, and his lead is stretched out to about 15, 16 car lengths when they're on the straightaway. They're coming up to more lap traffic. This time the next car is Trey Hollywood in the 48. Oh, and he's going to catch him at a bad time too. This final corner has been wild. You don't want to catch lap traffic right here, but oh, and Timmy Brown was spun over at the exit of the final turn. But that was the checkered flag, I do believe, there, and it was. Aaron Garcia survives the wild final stage here for the Charlotte Roval 400 win. 8th win of the 2022 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series season for him. And there is major frustration coming from under the helmet of the driver of the #1 Chevy Camaro for Air Force Motorsports. And I can't say I blame him. I have lost races exactly this way before. And it's never a good feeling. There was a battle for position between two cars that were one lap down. They were well out in front of the leaders when they were battling for these positions, and then all of a sudden they both lost control, and the leaders were suddenly right with them instead of, you know, about 10, 15 car lengths back instead. So it created a wild situation there. It stacked them all up, and Charles Jackson ran into the back of the 34, and 24 caught him, made the pass, and was able to drive away. What a way to wrap up the round of 16 for the 2022 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series playoffs. We're not going to bring you post-race interviews here tonight, and we do apologize for the lack of staff. We are in-race reporterless. Alex Tesdahl having connection issues. I was the one who told him to not come in here tonight. I didn't want him to be in a chat with me and then lag out or disconnect out of the race and then get eliminated in the round of 16 as a result. So it was a one-man band here tonight for the Charlotte Roval 400. I'm glad that I brought you coverage, and I do apologize from the bottom of my heart for not having every little bit of detail when it comes to how many laps to go and who's running where. Once again, congratulations to Aaron Garcia. 8th win this season for him. Solidly locked into the round of 12 and one of the favorites to win it all here for the championship. Good night, everybody, and stay fast.